Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Kevin and that's Mark, and this is What Elon Said, where we provide insight into Elon's tweets and any interviews. And today is March the 3rd. It's a Thursday of 2022. And today we're going to talk about Elon's comments on Gene Simmons, his reply to Gene Simmons, the SpaceX launch today, scheduled for today. We got drilled holes on Mars. We got more jabs at the United States president. But first, we're going to go down to some more commentary about the situation in Ukraine. And so we know that he's had a couple of communications with Mikhailo Fedorov, who is the vice prime minister of Ukraine, and that he has sent over some Starlink terminals from SpaceX to the people of Ukraine. And Mikhailo says here, Elon, many thanks. Starlink keeps our cities connected and emergency services saving lives. With Russian attacks on our infra, or referring to infrastructure, we need generators to keep Starlinks and life-saving services online. Ideas? And he tags Honda and a few generator companies here, and then a couple pictures of some damaged infrastructure and a Starlink satellite dish on top of a building. And Elon actually replies to this question and says, solar panels plus battery pack are better than a generator, as no heat signature or smoke, and it doesn't run out of fuel. So he's, basically stating what the Powerwall can do, which is basically like a battery for a home or for a building. And we know that Tesla's on that path to really have these products as opposed to generators. And he says that generators don't have the fuel required, they don't create the noise, they have less maintenance involved, etc. And Mikhailo goes on to say, great suggestions. We're unlucky with weather, clouds, and smoke from burning cities, and with the infrastructure damage, can't grid charge batteries. Last time for fossil fuels now, then you help rebuild Ukraine with full solar plus storage. And he says solar area will need to be higher with obscuration, but works better than one might think. So kind of laying out the whole idea behind Tesla energy here for an entire country. I think it's
I mean, it's a couple of interesting things there. Like he's saying that obviously they're just didn't do it, but Elon is saying that it will still work even though that everything's obscured. Normally on their site they say you need very, very clear exposure, but Elon's saying it still will work. Like you'd be surprised how well it could work with obstruction. And then one thing I found interesting for a war zone, the gas, of course, doesn't need fuel, which is important, but also there's no heat signature. So that way, the
less detectable
forces that are invading can't see where you are or see where the energy is to know that there's people there or energy and attack it. So it's sort of a silent energy source in terms of foreign enemy detection, which is crucially important in this environment. So it's works on many fronts.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I sort of thought of it when he said solar area will need to be higher. I guess that just means, on top of the building.
That could be.
But I mean, my initial thought was, well, how is that going to work, right? Do we need to get these onto some sort of floating solar panel, right? Or a blimp or something like that can feed the power down. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess you just want to try and get it as high up as possible to get through the clouds and smoke.
Yes.
But I mean, that's the whole point of Powerwall, right? Is to store the power that you do catch during those non-cloudy times.
That's right.
All right. So we have next steps here.
Yeah. So we have Katya Pavlushenko. Sorry for destroying your name there. Oh yeah. So this was I was a little confused what this was actually. They're saying that this is from Russia Today. So this is from Russia, or she's saying this, that when Russia implements its highest national interests, on the territory of Ukraine. Elon Musk appears with his Starlink, which was previously declared as purely civilian. Here is this mud open himself. I didn't fully understand this, but I think they're complimenting it. And then Elon said that, Ukraine civilian internet was experiencing strange outages, bad weather perhaps. So SpaceX is helping fix it. He's doing a little tongue in cheek there, saying that, joking that it's not weather, it's actually Russians attacking them. So SpaceX helped out.
It's a little bit of prodding going on, but
yes,
this Dmitry Rogozin, he is the head of Roscosmos, maybe, which is the Russian space agency. And I think he's sort of knocking Elon Musk and Starlink here. And I don't know, maybe there were this is in a press conference. So this is the quote. I think it's Katya's just quoting him here, but I don't know what the interactions in the past between Russia and Starlink / SpaceX have been. I know the long ago history of Elon going over to acquire rockets in Russia, basically, or USSR, maybe. Not Russia, just laughing him out of the place. He wasn't taken seriously.
Yeah.
I'm not. My take on this is he's basically saying, that Elon previously declared this as purely civilian, and now he's stepping in and providing government support.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he's trying to smear him a little bit.
It seemed like it. And Elon just
to the Russian people,
strategically took away the emphasis of it by just joking, and then it's destroyed any seriousness on the topic, which is good.
I agree.
So what's going on with Tesla Solar here?
Yeah, we have Tesla Solar that Elon Musk retweeted here, saying solar roof lets you become your own renewable energy utility, generate clean energy, and drive on solar. It's kind of what we were just speaking of, how solar roof in connection with Powerwall can make your household its own utility to have energy at all times, and to even sell some of that energy back to the grid or feed it back to the grid to help with supply there. So this is my take on this. This is sadly probably some good publicity for Tesla and for Tesla Energy in particular. And I think this whole experience of how much of this unrest is founded on energy and fossil fuel, throughout the world is going to push people more in the direction of sustainable energy and towards products like what Tesla offers. And I think this concept here is going to get a lot more attention and probably have a lot more interested buyers in the coming months and years.
Yeah, and bring it back to the Ukraine situation, it's amazing how whether it's a medical or war emergencies in the last 2 years, it shows you how unprepared most governments are for modern emergency circumstances in terms of the supplies. Here's a circumstance where in war planning, you think that you would have tons of these backups, even in other countries. Like the US should be supplying these, but they're having to reach out to a private company to supply these at the last minute rather than having someone reserved. Not blaming them, but even like European Union countries or the US being able just to have deploy these immediately to them. They're we're relying on Tesla to bring in try to sneak panels across the border. It's kind of crazy. I also liked how this picture is like the most fanatical Tesla fan in the world. They have Tesla roof. They have 2 Tesla cars. It's all Tesla. They love it.
Well, think about it. That is the dream, right? You can fuel your home off of clean energy. You can charge your cars off of clean energy. You can store that energy when there's not proper sunshine or wind. And you can even make money off of it by feeding it back to the grid, or I think mining Bitcoin at some point in the future, maybe. So I just think that whole concept that's been a part of the Tesla community discussed, and probably an idea that Tesla talks about for so long, is now going to get a lot more attention, and there's going to be some real like modern reasoning outside of it just being environmentally the right thing to do. Some real reasoning for getting behind a plan like that.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Next up, we have the Babylon Bee, a frequent location of Elon's eyes, I'd say. And they put out an article saying, "Genius, Ukraine halts Russian advance by distracting them with free copies of Elden Ring." Elon got a kick out of that with a laughing emoji.
Pretty funny.
But
Yeah.
not a huge gamer myself, but Elden Ring is a game that's apparently sweeping the nation and the world, and looks pretty cool from what I saw of it.
Yeah.
I sometimes think about, what we can make such amazing things in video games. Like I do believe that there's a need for entertainment and gaming, but I just think about the resources being spent on that could be building such amazing things, that could help us in situations like this.
Yeah. That's the Tesla people, and the Elden Ring people do the other thing. Yes.
Yeah. But that another takeaway here is, does Elon go a day without making a video game reference in his communication?
Or spending his time playing video games? I mean, that's his that's his golf.
That's right. Yeah.
That's his leisure time to relax, is video games.
Yep.
He gets his aggression out
there. Seems that way.
All right. So I think the last one from today from the tweets and replies, Gene Simmons making a surprise appearance on the Musk tweet. I'm going to
open it up here. So.
Okay.
There you
go. So, Gene Simmons was responding sort of to, Joe Biden's not mentioning Tesla as a major contributor to the EV revolution and to job growth domestically of, America first with jobs, not mentioned at all. And then Elon, of course, we talked about, everyone knows that he fought back, posting that they've created 50,000 jobs in Texas. And, Gene Simmons is like, they have non-union jobs that move to Texas in a right to work state, he says. Give Elon his due. And Elon responded that adding to his case that actually we still operate our California factory, not just Texas, which is the largest auto plant in North America. And they're considering expanding it. So they're still going to grow in California, still committed there. And it has built 2 out of 3 of all electric vehicles in North America. Of course, that's not going to be the case for long with Austin opening. James Stevenson, I didn't see this response yet, but it was, got a lot happening here. There was the people who work at Tesla's factory who decided they don't want a union. I don't know. I can't speak to that because I don't know if that is actually a situation that happened. If they put it up for a vote, I haven't heard about that. But Elon responds that our real challenge is Bay Area has negative unemployment. So if we don't treat and compensate our awesome people well, they have many offers. So basically they're saying that there's too much opportunity out there. Union jobs are not going to help them stay. They have to make it union level incentives just to keep the people around right now. And they're rewarded very well. I'd like to hereby to invite UAW to hold a union vote at their convenience. Tesla will do nothing to stop them. Okay, so I'm not sure if what James Stevenson was true. I don't think there has been a union vote at Tesla, and he's like, they're free to do it. Nothing. He's like, he won't prevent any unionization at all if the employees want that. He's not getting in their way. He won't fight it. And then Elon followed on that, by the way, Tesla factory worker compensation is the highest in the auto industry. It's very good. have to take that with a grain of salt again, because I don't know if that means on the job or that includes pensions and post work. So I can't speak to
well, this link here to this video is Andrew Sorkin from Squawk Box on CNBC interviewing Mary Barra of GM, and he brings that up. And oh boy, all of these interviews with Mary Barra just get so squirmy and awkward. But she responds basically by saying, well, I don't know that that's true. I haven't seen the facts, but you have to consider everything, benefits, pension, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You do.
I think, but Elon's stating, and I don't think that he's making an assumption here. He's saying it's the highest paid in the auto industry, and
Yeah,
could be because they're located in Fremont, California, which is high cost of living to begin with. But I think his stance is that we treat our employees fairly, compensate them fairly, and we don't need a union because of that.
I
And
agree.
Management doesn't take advantage of the employees.
Yes, they're free to unionize if they want. He has no problem with that. I just don't know if that's a general statement saying worker compensation is the highest. It's hard to speak to without knowing the context for it, but I'm sure it is in some areas. I don't know if it is, through a career versus the week.
Yeah.
By the hour, with those type of things. But I'm sure it is very good. And he has also, in addition to, if you were there earlier, your compensation in stock definitely helps you out as well. But that, as an employee, cannot be most employees can't count on that. You don't know which way.
I think that point was made here as well. Plus, many of the early employees are now millionaires because of their stock options. Yes.
Yes.
Response.
Yep.
Yeah. So here's a question: who threw the first punch? Because it just seems like an ongoing bickering between Elon and some of these original, OEMs. But I oftentimes feel like he's on the defensive.
Yes.
Like he's just trying to field the hate and bring truth to the matter. Maybe I'm biased in that. That's why I'd like to know. If anyone watching could comment on that.
My take on it is, well, two levels. One, I feel Joe Biden made this worse than it could be because he only mentioned union. If he just mentioned them, he wouldn't be responding back. He's pushing back where he feels rightfully he's done a lot, and he's like literally getting zero credit. He's not asking for top billing. He's just asking to be included.
Yeah.
So I think that is understandable. On the other hand, every company goes through this once they're the big kahuna. Walmart was the devil forever, and now they're hardly mentioned. Amazon, people think they're the worst. Facebook,
good point.
They're a nightmare, even though it's just grandma's exchanging recipes. It's everything that is the biggest is the worst, and their only goal in life is to rake you of money. So it's I just feel it's whoever is the punching bag, as you said, being punched it's inevitable that if you're hugely successful, somehow you're doing it by screwing everyone else over.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of the comments underneath. The unsupportive ones were basically like, Elon's just a crybaby billionaire. He just wants attention, and the president's not giving it to him. Like, it doesn't feel that way necessarily, but time will tell, I guess. But
yeah, I know.
You mentioned Facebook, and you're right. I just over the last day or two have consumed the Lex Friedman, Mark Zuckerberg interview. I know this is not related to what Elon said, but have found a newfound respect for Mark Zuckerberg. I thought he was very intelligent with his responses, clear communicator. And I think there's probably a reason that, he was able to build the enterprise that he did there.
Yes, but, and there's definitely negative things on it, but there's positive, and
Yeah. And he
both
talks
sides are going
about
to
all that.
say, one side's going to say that you shouldn't censor anyone, and the other side's going to say, how dare you allow people to say not censor these people. So when a
Yeah.
company's that big, there's no winning what's right. We all have our opinions of what's right, but once you're that big, it's just hard. I feel that they're not the robber barons of the 19th century, where they were just having labor working to the point that they were dying in coal mines or on the railroad track.
Yeah.
I think they're treating their employees relatively well for what they're doing. I don't think, there are nightmare stories that come out about all of them, but for the most part, I feel they're creating jobs that are not nightmarish for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but I think that's true. And I think it's different. I don't think they're inherently evil,
Yeah.
from what I've seen. And I think everything is more transparent these days.
Yeah. Well, I have heard some nightmare stories about working for Elon, right? He does have that reputation.
Well, he
Oh,
absolutely does.
but
But I think you know what you're getting into, and I think you're well
yeah, to some
compensated. But
extent.
you
Yeah.
definitely don't work for. Well, there have been other complaints coming out about Tesla in general, that definitely have a bad light on what's happening in the factories. But
Yeah.
that will be seen once the court cases go forward. So you never know.
There's other times, bringing it back to Elon, that I feel like, don't even comment about this stuff. Just keep your head down, keep your eye on the mission, and keep moving forward. We all know how this is happening, how this is rolling out.
That's right.
If you're paying
You're right.
attention, you see what's happening.
Yeah.
So don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
But I get it. You got to stand up for yourself too. And no one wants to be swept under the rug. So
No, definitely wants a voice at the table, I feel.
yeah. All right. Well, that catches us up to Elon's tweets for today, March 3rd, 2022. And we will be back next episode with what Elon liked. So we'll see everybody then.
See you
Thanks.
then.